Hello friends, in this lecture we are going to see what are style component. Style component is a CSS in JavaScript library that gives you more flexibility and control over styling in React application than just simply using CSS or SCSS alone. Style component is used to create elements which essentially could be any HTML element. As we can see here, this is an anchor tag, and then we can give some CSS and then we can use them across our application anywhere we want in our JSX, and they will have that CSS contained within them. So if I go to documentation and if I go to motivation, so there are a couple of reasons that people behind this think that this is really good approach of using style component. So it says automatic critical CSS. It means that each component contains its own CSS. Let's take an example. You have created three components: header component, footer component, and form component, which have their own styles written. Now you have imported only two components in app.js, which are header component and footer component. So when app.js is render, header component and footer component will also render. So style component keeps tracks of this and it will inject styles only of these two components and nothing else. So it helps to load a least amount of code which is necessary. And the second one is no class name bugs. Okay, so style component generate unique class names for your styles. This we will see in coming up lectures. Okay, and the third one is easier deletion of CSS. Let's say you have written some CSS for a particular component in global CSS file, and for some reason you don't need that component and you delete that component, but the CSS you have written for that component, which is in global CSS file, it will be still there. But if we use style component approach, all your CSS will be in that particular component. So if you delete that component which is unused, then all the CSS related to that particular component will also get deleted. So the fourth one is simple dynamic styling. This is really a nice feature. You can basically leverage your JS skills and write any dynamic property binding inside of that CSS to make it behave differently. So this we will see an example in the coming up lectures. Painless maintenance. You never have to hunt across different files to find the style affecting your component. Automatic vendor prefixing. This means that you can write CSS to current standard. For example, to write CSS in JavaScript, we need to write CSS property in camel case. For example, if you are using Material UI, then you need to write the CSS property in camel case. But if you use style component, so we don't require to write CSS property in camel case. Okay, so these are really good features, and so this was just an intro of style component. So you might got some idea about why style component are used and what are style components. Okay, so this is it for this video, and I'll see you in some coming up lectures. Okay, thank you. Till then, take care and bye bye.